Hi, BrenTech here, where tech is made simple. Google Chrome currently has a setting called Google Drive Suggestions, which we can navigate to by heading to our main menu, clicking on Settings, and then heading over to the Sync and Google Services page, and then scrolling down to the bottom of the page, and here is the related setting called Show Google Drive Suggestions. The description for the setting reads, when you type in the address bar or search box, Chrome sends what you type to Google Drive to get item suggestions. Now that's quite self-explanatory. But the long and the short of this setting is when it's enabled, which it will be by default, if you are currently a syncing user in Google Chrome, then as mentioned in the description, whatever you type in the address bar and search, then Chrome then sends what you type to Google Drive to get item suggestions to help you, obviously, with your related search. Now, this could all be set to change. And Google seems to be thinking of removing this setting from sync and making the Omnibox Google Drive Suggestions available to all signed-in users, where, as mentioned, up until recently and currently, this setting is only available, and these features are only available for syncing users. Now, these expected changes are currently being tested behind an experimental flag in Chrome Canary version 117. So in Chrome Canary 117, if you want to check out more or less what the removal of this feature will bring about, then we need to enable an experimental flag. And to do this, as always, we head to the Omnibox and we enter Chrome://flags, which takes us over to the experimental flags page. And to bring up the relevant flag, we just type in this. And I'll leave this down below as it's quite a mouthful. You can just copy and paste that in. And the flag is Omnibox Google Drive Document Suggestions, available to all signed-in users. And the description for the flag reads, Omnibox Drive Suggestions are available to all signed-in users. So that's the change that enabling this flag will bring about, as mentioned. Google carries on to say in the description, previously they were only available to syncing users, as I mentioned, who had the Show Google Drive Suggestions setting enabled. Then in the second half of the description, they say, the setting is now removed. However, the existing Improve Search Suggestions setting can still be used to disable all server-side suggestions altogether. Now, we'll take a look at the second half of this description of this flag in just a bit. But to obviously remove the Google Drive Suggestions, we change this from default to enabled. And then we relaunch Google Chrome Canary version 117 to apply that flag and bring about the relevant changes. Now, if we head back to the Sync and Google Services page and we scroll down to the bottom, we can see now that the setting, which was previously at the bottom, Google Drive Suggestions, has now been removed when that flag is enabled. And what this means now that Chrome features tied to sync in the past are now available to all signed-in users, where up until we changed that experimental flag to enabled, Drive Suggestions were only available to syncing users. So that's basically what this change is going to bring about. And as mentioned, the second half of that flag's description read, the setting is now removed. However, the existing Improved Search Suggestions setting can still be used to disable all server-side suggestions altogether. So if and when this removal of the Drive Suggestions setting does take place, if you want to opt out of Google Drive Suggestions in the Omnibox in the future, in case maybe as an example you are concerned about privacy, then in the future you will then need to disable this setting called Improved Search Suggestions, which and when it is disabled, it then disables all server-side suggestions from Google. So none of your data and your searches are then sent to the Google servers to get those Drive Suggestions. So this will be the way to go in the future if you are then concerned about privacy. Now, Google's whole motivation behind the removal of that setting is this, and I'm quoting this from the Chromium Gerrit page, and I'm quoting. They say, while there may be some scenarios where a user would want to have one setting on and the other off, we'll optimize for making settings simpler and thus easier to use, while also making this feature available to more users by no longer trying and tying it to sync, as mentioned. So that's basically Google's motivation behind removing Drive Suggestions and then giving you the option to obviously turn Improved Search Suggestions off if you don't want any of your data sent to those Google servers to get Drive Suggestions. And that's what we can expect to possibly start rolling out in up-and-coming stable versions, where Google wants to remove the Show Google Drive Suggestions setting in Chrome for desktop. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.